Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today I am here to bring you guys What If Dabura Turned Good Part 2, or the finale. Yes, it is the finale because we are actually going to be covering all of Dragon Ball Super. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to cover. Let's just get right into it.
Hey, collecting rings like a Sonic. Bitches wanna party. My wrist getting heavy. Got 'em on a diet, yeah. Flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, he's coming over. We respect.
We start our story where we last left off, which was the defeat of Kid Buu. Eventually, Goku and the others would meet up with Dabura and the others, and when Dabura sees Fat Buu, he gets in a fighting stance, saying he won't let this fat pig monster live. At that point, Buu would get angry, and at that point, Goku and Vegeta would then intercept, with Goku defending Buu and saying how he actually helped him out against Kid Buu. Dabura would also witness Hercule defending Buu, saying how he saved him and his dog's life. At that point, Dabura knows he's outnumbered, and even if he wanted to try and fight Buu, he couldn't, he's too weak. And so he just kind of backs off and he just leaves Buu alone, and he would then question to himself shortly afterwards as to what he's going to do. At that point, Piccolo would then intervene and say how he can actually stick around at the lookout, and Piccolo can help him get the self-assurance he needs. Dabura may be satisfied with himself by killing Babidi, but he still has that little bit of evil within him, and Piccolo can somewhat sense it. Dabura may have this evil within himself, however he still wants to learn to get rid of it, and so Dabura decides to give this a chance, and he and Piccolo would proceed to fly up to the lookout, and this is where the Z Fighters proceed to split up, and peace would remain for the next 4 years. Now for the most part, nothing changes in this 4-year peace gap except for Piccolo and Dabura's training together, which would actually take place throughout all 4 years, gaining massive strength and even going into the time chamber multiple times. I'd say by the end of the 4-year gap, Dabura would have gotten rid of basically all the evil within himself, and he's a lot more calm and he rarely gets mad. Dabura and Piccolo would have at least surpassed the likes of their Buu Saga selves, and even surpassing the likes of Buu Saga Vegeta, but below current Vegeta, since Vegeta would be doing nothing but training. And also, for the ones who are curious as to who is stronger between Dabura and Piccolo, I'm going to say here that Dabura is actually stronger than Piccolo here. Now, as we all know, Beerus would still wake up similar to in canon, and I honestly don't see this stronger Piccolo and this stronger Dabura here making a really significant impact in this arc, and this still leads into the 6 Saiyans having to gather around each other and give Goku the Super Saiyan God form, which still goes down as per normal, and Goku and Beerus would have their fight. And because Goku managed to satisfy Beerus, Beerus decides to spare Earth, and at that point he would return back to his planet, and this leads into months later where Vegeta and Goku would eventually start training with Whis and Beerus. During this time, I feel like Piccolo and Dabura would have definitely felt a lot more useless than usual because they just did absolutely nothing to Beerus and they were completely insignificant in comparison to him and God Goku, which just motivates Dabura and Piccolo even more to get stronger, especially Piccolo, who got chopsticked similar to in canon. Anyways, Dabura and Piccolo decided to head into the time chamber for about a week, where Popo would prepare 2 weeks worth of water and 1 week worth of food, since Piccolo doesn't need to eat, only drink water, and so Dabura and Piccolo then head inside, where the duo would train for all 7 years, and they would eventually emerge out the chamber, with Dende and Popo barely recognizing them in terms of power. And Dabura and Piccolo for the next few months just decide to meditate and just take their training out on Earth, and eventually this leads into Frieza's revival and Frieza arriving on Earth months later. Dabura and Piccolo would be the first ones to arrive onto the scene, and eventually when all the other Z Fighters join in, they engage with Frieza and his forces, with Piccolo leading the charge with the other Z Fighters fighting Togoma and his other weaker soldiers, while Dabura would handle Frieza personally by himself. He pushes Frieza immediately into his final form, but even then Dabura is able to overwhelm final form Frieza pretty easily, and even forcing the Tyrant to go into his golden form, which blows back Dabura just by the raw energy that Frieza is channeling, but Dabura manages to catch himself in that instance, and at that point Dabura would have no other choice but to use his last resort. He would then spit on Frieza multiple times, which actually lands on Frieza, surprisingly, and this leads into Frieza slowly turning into stone as he tries to transform into his golden form. Instead of resorting to raw power to beating Frieza, which Dabura knew that he couldn't against Frieza if he had transformed into that golden form, instead he decided to use a smart tactic of his and used his purification spit, which managed to envelop around Frieza and turn him into stone before his golden form could fully be accessed. Even if his golden form was active and Frieza tried to charge, he would probably be turned into stone beforehand. So yeah, the Frieza arc would actually end a lot shorter than expected, and Goku and Vegeta would arrive onto Earth expecting to encounter and fight Frieza, but they realized that Dabura actually beat him to it and basically defeated Frieza before Goku and Vegeta could arrive onto the planet. After Goku and Vegeta realized that Dabura took care of everything, they don't really mind it, but they were kind of disappointed because they actually wanted to get a little bit of a fight and test out their new power. Anyways, the Universe 6 saga would start up, and this would kind of take place as per normal, except for instead of Majin Buu, we would get Dabura in this team, since Dabura is much more powerful than Majin Buu, and this Piccolo is a lot more powerful than Buu as well. Also, we see Dabura and Piccolo training Gohan before they recruit Piccolo and Dabura, rather than just Piccolo training Gohan. Eventually, Team Universe 7 would make their way to Champa's tournament stage, and they would all pass the written exam, with Goku going up first, fighting Botama, which that fight plays out as per normal, along with Goku versus Frost, and Piccolo would then step up right after Goku, and this Piccolo, being much more powerful, would easily defeat Frost. However, before Frost actually goes back to the spectator seat, Jocko would identify the poison needle, and this would bring Goku back in the tournament. Anyways, Piccolo rather than Vegeta would fight Vegeta this time, but the results would still be the same once Piccolo figures out Vegeta's weakness and he abuses it. However, due to his injuries against Vegeta, he is not going to be able to fight Cabba, and so he steps down from the match, leading into Dabura versus Cabba, which plays out completely different from Vegeta versus Cabba, since Dabura has no mercy, and he's not here to teach Cabba. And because of this, Cabba not only doesn't learn Super Saiyan, but he is eliminated a lot earlier than in canon. Eventually, Hit would step up and he would give Dabura no mercy the same way he gave no mercy to Cabba, and he is eliminated as well. Vegeta would then step up, and Vegeta would prove to do a little bit better against Hit now that he actually analyzed a little bit of Dabura versus Hit and a little bit of Hit's technique. However, it isn't enough to actually beat him, and he is overwhelmed as well. This then leads into Goku fighting Hit, which goes down identical to in canon, and Monaka would come in with the clutch for Universe 7 by hitting Hit off the stage, knocking him out, and winning Universe 7 the tournament. Champa's Earth would still remain, and time would pass with Dabura and Piccolo still training Gohan and trying to make him improve, and I feel like during this time they definitely wouldn't be able to influence the Goku Black Arc too much or really change it in a significant way. So I'm basically going to say during this time they're just kind of vibing and training Gohan in the meantime, and they would still say goodbye to Future Trunks in the end, with Dabura not knowing who he is, but Piccolo and Gohan would tell him who he is and of Future Trunks. The only thing I can really see changing in this saga is Dabura and Trunks' interaction, with Trunks at first thinking he's an enemy, but it's just another instance of the Z Fighters telling Trunks to calm down and that it's actually a friend. Maybe we can get a little scene of a socially awkward Dabura who really hasn't interacted with anyone other than the Z Fighters and Piccolo for all these years, basically trying to give an introduction but being socially inept, just something like a little funny. But other than that, I don't really see the Goku Black Arc really changing all that much, and we can now skip into the Tournament of Power, which the exhibition matches, by the way, play out the same as per normal. And as for the recruitment saga, things would play out as per normal, and for the final team member, it would just be Dabura instead of Frieza, which basically means that they can now head inside of the Tournament of Power. Now, when the tournament begins, Dabura would stick with the group until eventually the group separates, and Gohan and Piccolo are then hit by the sniper. Dabura watches this from afar and detects the sniper, and he then swoops in and one-shots him off the stage. As this happens, Goku and Vegeta then come in, and Goku and Vegeta then take out that fat blob from Universe 2, similar to in canon. With this happening, this means that Tien manages to stay in the tournament much longer, and he sticks with Roshi when he's done fighting all those fighters from Universe 4, making sure he recovers. At that point, the two humans then try to fight Frost, which doesn't go well, and Dabura would then go and help, but then at the same time, Vegeta would then come in as well. This leads into Vegeta and Dabura actually working together, and this is actually kind of a nice team up because these are both the fighters who were once possessed by Babidi but now changed into good guys and managed to eliminate not only Vegeta and Botama, but this time Frost himself. Dabura isn't going to let him get away, and since Tien and Roshi are kinda down for the count, Vegeta suggests for both of them to jump off, but Tien decides to stay in, saying that he can do this all day, but Roshi has much more damage and he decides to eliminate himself. I also forgot to mention when Goku fights Caulifla, he just eliminates her this time because she doesn't show him anything that could maybe challenge him. With this, Kale would attempt to access her rage, but she kind of can't since she hasn't even been exposed to the likes of Super Saiyan yet, and I don't see it likely for her to learn it in that instance. And so Goku would just eliminate Kale, and here to put it simply, the Universe 6 Saiyans are actually dealt with much quicker. Goku still fights Jiren, and Jiren still fights Hit, while Cabba is subdued to the Universe 4 Cannon Bolt. Dabura and Piccolo and Gohan would stick together, and eventually the invisible fighters of Universe 4 would then attack them, eliminating Tien and nearly Piccolo, who is saved by Dabura, and nearly Gohan, who is saved by Piccolo. The bug is still eliminated thanks to 17, and when they encounter Aniraza, 17 would actually take the frontal charge and actually be the main one in actually eliminating Aniraza, but 18 is eliminated in the process, similar to in canon. Universe 7 versus Universe 11 would then take place, with Dabura and Piccolo taking on Dispo, Gohan and 17 taking on Toppo, and Goku and Vegeta taking on Jiren. At that point, Goku versus Jiren would take place, and Goku would just get easily bodied by Jiren, and he would eventually waste all of his energy. This would lead into Vegeta then coming in and being on the back burner against Jiren, and Goku decides to look deep within himself and try and take out as much power as he can, even though he has no energy at all. Jiren would then stop fighting, and he just gets in a stance, as Vegeta would then step back and power up even further like how Goku is, with this time both of them breaking their shells, but this time with Goku doing it once again, and he would go Ultra Instinct for the second time. Yes, the reason why I say this is because Jiren would be fighting a much weaker Goku, so Goku would be much more fatigued than the Goku who originally fought Jiren for the second time. This would then lead into Goku and Vegeta then working together to fight Jiren, and when eventually Goku drains his Ultra Instinct, Vegeta would be the one to try and carry against Jiren. As this is going down, 17 and Gohan are doing well against Toppo and are about to eliminate him, and as that's happening, Dispo would overwhelm Dabura and Piccolo with speed, but Piccolo would manage to actually predict where he's going based on how he's moving, and Piccolo would then get a hold of Dispo with his arm. At that point, Piccolo stretches his arm out for as long as he can, and Dabura would then blast Piccolo's arm off based on Piccolo just telling Dabura to fire it off, sacrificing his arm and eliminating Dispo. But Piccolo simply regrows that arm, and Piccolo Dabura then move out to go and assist 17 and Gohan, who just get done eliminating Toppo. Toppo wouldn't break his morality here since Frieza was actually heavily influencing Toppo to do that, and basically since he isn't here, I don't see Toppo breaking his morality and going into that God of Destruction mode. And so Toppo would be swiftly eliminated, and after this, Universe 7 then gets a jump on Jiren seemingly until Jiren would get more serious, picking off the fighters one by one. First punching Piccolo off the stage, and then blasting Gohan off the stage right after. After this, Dabura would attempt to spit on Jiren, trying to make a last desperate attempt to eliminate him, but at that point Jiren just swiftly dodges this, and he would then punch Dabura somewhere randomly in the tournament, not eliminating him, but basically doing the same thing he did to Frieza. This would then lead into Goku and Vegeta eventually draining all their energy, well, Vegeta more specifically, since Goku would already be drained and would be trying to recover, and 17 would sacrifice himself, and Vegeta would also put everything he has on the line to actually make Universe 7 live a little bit longer, and he would give the last bit of energy to Goku, which leads into then Goku using Ultra Instinct once again and even mastered UI, but this time Dabura would come in and save him, and 17 would reveal himself to be alive. 17, Dabura, and Goku all work together to beat Jiren this time, but it would be 17 and Goku who eliminate themselves, and Dabura being on the back burner. And this leads into Dabura winning the tournament, and he would wish all the universes back. And since I don't see Dabura changing the Broly movie and the Moro arc hasn't even finished, this is where I will be calling the finale for What If Dabura Turned Good. Well, looks like you guys made it to the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Your support means more than you think, and really I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and share with your friends. Also, comment other what ifs you would like to see on the channel, or anything you liked about this what if. If you guys do want to hang out with me and other content creators off YouTube, be sure to join the Discord, which will be linked in the description, where we basically do debates, game nights, watch movies, watch shows, and overall just hang out and chill. With that being said, I'm gonna get out of here and leave you guys alone. Thank you guys for watching once again. My name is Ty Learn. Peace out. Bye.